What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? This is another episode of Shoe Booty Sports. I'm your host, Graham Powell, on this screen. On the other is Bradley Brandt. Say what's up, Brad.
What's going on?
I don't know. We got lots of swag, just like your hats, and I'm rocking my Grizzlies hat because it is officially NBA season now. We have officially entered the best time of year for sports. We're in the middle of football. The NBA season has started. The World Series starts Thursday. A lot to talk about, look forward to. First, before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Y'all know the drill. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. So we got the Lakers and Timberwolves going on at the moment. I'm glad the NBA season has started because one, I mean, I like basketball. Two, I'm ready for LeBron and Bronny to just get on the floor and get it over with, so the media can have this kumbaya moment and celebrate it, and then maybe we can get on with our lives. I'm a little tired of all the coverage prior to that. It's not LeBron and Bronny's fault. This is just a media thing, and it's just kind of getting shoved down my throat right now. We got plenty of other stuff to talk about. Yeah, so let's let it happen. I mean, it's very unique. I get it, but doesn't mean I'm not a little fatigued of it already. So not rooting for or against either one. Just let's get it over with, and then let's move on with the NBA season and stuff. What are your thoughts on that, or have you seen enough of it to be as bothered as I am? Apparently.
I don't think I'm as bothered as you sound. Yeah, I know what's going on. I don't pay attention to it. So,
Well, it was mainly just going on in the background. I was watching, I think it might have been last night because I was trying to catch up on what happened football Saturday and Sunday. I was in your hood, Northwest Arkansas, this past weekend, but I was doing running stuff and family stuff. I didn't watch much sports. We were outside most of the time. Um, so didn't catch a lot of football, including the Razorback game. Didn't The only bit of the Razorback game I saw was going in and out of Napoli's and Rogers as we were carb loading the night before the half marathon my brother and I paced, and we were down 14-7 at that point. So that was the extent of the rate of the game I saw, Razorback game. I was watching Beetlejuice instead. Didn't watch the whole thing. I was kind of in and out, but what I did see of it, I really liked. So I do want to sit down and watch it again sometime. But coming back to around to when I finally got home last night and settled in, I turned the TV on to figure out what happened in the sports world or football over the weekend. It was just LeBron and Bronny. It was a whole Brian Windhorst special, just narrating it, um, and just talking about the whole backstory there. Now, if anybody's going to tell the story of it, it's Brian Windhorst. I mean, he knows LeBron better than anybody as far as a storytelling perspective. He's covered him his entire career, has made a career out of LeBron James. We'll just put it that way. So why not add Bronny to the chapter, I guess. But yeah, it's that dominated pretty much most of what I saw on Sports Center last night. So I was a little fatigued of it by the end of it. I'm like, okay, let's just get out there, get them on the floor at the same time if it happens. And because this is
yeah.
the NBA regular season, I don't know how much Bronny's actually going to play. But when they get on the floor at the same time, it's going to be a moment. Um, Hopefully it's
They'll
in
probably
LA. so it'll get a good ovation. I'm not rooting against it again. I just want it done so I can like, okay, it happened. We had the moment. Let's get on with basketball now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll probably make it a ESPN top 10 play with them both being on the court at the same time. So you don't have to worry about missing it.
Yeah, only father son duo to ever be in the NBA at the same time and they're on the same team. So
Yeah.
it's cool. Um I mean Bronny only got drafted because LeBron's his dad and he's a Laker. So I mean we all know
Yeah.
that. This isn't news at this point. But it's still a thing and it's still cool, I guess. But I'm a little fatigued on the coverage, or a lot of fatigued on it. But anyway, they're playing right now, the Timberwolves. Don't know anything about the score. Basically, the game started as I came in here to podcast, and I actually considered going in there to watch it while we podcasted in case something like that happened. But I was like, that's too much work to move all this in there. So never mind. I will view all that later if and when it happened. But the Celtics and Knicks played the opening game of the season. The Celtics looked exactly like the world champions. Uh, they they were dominant. Derek White went off from 3-point land. It was, and I didn't see the entire game. I got home late, but from what I saw, the Celtics looked like the Celtics. They haven't missed a beat. If anything, they might have gotten even better, which is kind of wild to say.
Yeah.
But very good start to the season for Boston. Raised a record number 18 world championship banner or NBA champions. They call it world champions, I think, but NBA champions. Boston Celtics 18. That's now one ahead of the Lakers 17. So only fitting that the Lakers play after that, and they're playing a Timberwolves team that doesn't have Carl Anthony Towns, who's now a Knick, by the way, but Julius Randle and somebody else who was involved in that trade. They're with the T Wolves now. So Charles Barkley said before the game that he thinks this is one of those rare moments where both teams got better after the trade. I don't know if that's the case, but it sounded to me like the Knicks might have gotten the better end of that deal. But then again, I mean, Julius Randle and the other piece, I can't recall who it was at the time, but I mean, they did give up something to get, Carl Anthony Towns. So maybe Chuck's right on that. I mean, Chuck does know his hoops. So I don't know, but basketball season is underway. I'm excited about that. We'll talk about the World Series here in a little bit. Tell me about what happened this weekend in football, Brad, because all I know is my fantasy team got stomped. A lot of people got hurt, and especially on my fantasy team, or just didn't produce or didn't play because they were hurt.
Cool. Well, my
It was
fantasy
not
football
cool.
teams,
Not
my
cool at
fantasy
all.
football teams took care of business this weekend. Luckily, I even won starting CJ Stroud, who put up a whopping 5 points.
Yeah, what do
So
you have, like 80 yards?
yeah, it was,
That's
yeah,
wild.
wasn't anything to write home about. Um, so you already touched on the Arkansas LSU game. Yeah, I don't know. So you got into it about halftime, I would say, with that score that you seen. You didn't get to see where all everybody's hope got crushed in the third quarter, did you?
I saw nothing. I knew we were down 14-7, and we got back to Bella Vista. And you got to remember, I had to get up at 5 a.m. like the next morning. So I was not up very late, but we were watching a movie and I checked the scores before I went to bed, saw that Arkansas got smoked, saw Tennessee beat Alabama, which I showed my dad and chuckled. Although I don't like Tennessee
Yeah,
either, so I didn't really care who won
yeah,
that. And Georgia gave Texas a welcome to the SEC moment.
yeah. That was a little surprising. Tennessee
Wasn't
making
so
Arkansas's win look pretty good. Well, yeah, I guess you could say not really, since Texas really hadn't played anyone. But
was
yeah, so
Georgia.
you didn't. Yeah, so I don't think you got a good look at the Arkansas LSU games. You said 14-7. I don't think that was actually a score at any time in that game. Uh,
Was
I
it
want
14-6?
I want to say it was like 13-7, probably, because it was. At one point, it was 16-10, I want to say. I don't know.
It might have been 16-7. That might have been what it was. Dude,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know we were it might have been 16-7. I think that's right actually. I think that's
So,
correct. I mean, it was literally we were walking out of the restaurant.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, LSU pretty much they opened up the game doing whatever they wanted. It was death by a thousand paper cuts. They were just doing a bunch of short passes, just dinging it and dunking it everywhere. Marched the ball right down the field, scored. Arkansas, we got off to a slow start. Second half, we came out, marched it down the field, got a field goal, got to within a possession game. Somehow got LSU to punt it back to us. And I want to say on the very first play, like deep in our own territory, Green drops back to pass and throws it, gets tipped by Weeks, I want to say is his name, the linebacker. And then Jalen reaches up to slap it down, but he ends up tipping it back up in the air. And the same guy who tipped the ball to begin with, he ends up catching it, and like they're down on like the 2 yard line, ready to score. So that was when everybody's hope was crushed because we were like, yeah, it's a good game, we could make a run at it. We could go down here and go up by 1 point, and then it's a ball game. No, they scored that touchdown and never looked back, man. It was bad.
I saw one that they the only highlight clip I saw was like on X, Twitter, whatever, it's X, but people
Yeah,
still refer to it as Twitter. It
sure.
was I believe it was Arkansas fan. It was an Arkansas, like, not media outlet, but one on X, where they claim to be just a Razorback page, and talked about a pass interference call that should have been called. And I looked at it, and all these people were talking about, yeah, it should have been called BS, and I was like, that's not pass interference. Like it was clearly not pass interference, and Arkansas fans were griping that it should have been called, and I was like, no, that's good defense. I think that's what it was. Either way, I didn't agree with the page and the Razorback fans saying they were all wrong. I was like, what you're claiming happened did not happen. It did
Yeah.
not happen.
That's
Uh,
usually the case,
yes,
right?
that is usually the case. I'm just pointing out that that's really the only clip I saw. All I saw on TV was Taylon Green sitting on the bench with his helmet off, like when Arkansas kicked an extra point or whatever they did. That was all I saw of it. I mean, I came into the sports show not watching any football from from the weekend, but it's what it is. So I know enough to talk about it, I think, anyway. Or it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I mean, come on, it's the podcast universe. Everybody's got one now, just like Twitter accounts. We can all get on here and say whatever we want, but I'm gonna do my best with it.
Yep.
So tell us. All I know is it was 34-10 at the end of it. That was the final score, right?
That was the final score, yes.
Yeah, so I wasn't upset. Having said that, I'm not upset I missed the whole game. With that being what it was, I mean, we both picked LSU to win. We picked it to be
Yeah.
closer, but yeah, seeing how that turned out, I'm
That's
not upset I missed the game. So
that's
moving.
usually how it goes with the LSU game. Like years whenever we have no business even, being in it, we play them close. And years when it's supposed to be close, we get blown out. Like I don't know. It seems to be the way it's went the past, I don't know, 8 years. But
But
yeah, you want
Brian,
to talk what?
I was just gonna say, Brian Kelly, since he's been the LSU coach, it's been a close game every year except this one.
Yeah.
And Arkansas was terrible some of those years,
Yeah.
many of them, in his short time at LSU. All right, before we get to what you said, I saw this pop up on the mothership app, the ESPN. Celtics tied the NBA 3-point record with 3-pointers in a game. Do you know what that number is?
13.
13.
I don't know.
You don't think Steph and Clay made 13 together in a game?
Was it 17?
29.
29. There you go.
29 threes. 13. Oh, was it 17? Clay and Steph get 2 more each. Anyway, continue. Steph might have made 29. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Steph and Clay, the Warriors, that they tied. All right, what were you going to say, Brad?
Oh, I was going to, you said something about being upset, and I was going to say, you want to talk about being upset. That was, Barry talking about the Auburn game, them letting, that win just slip away from them in the fourth quarter against Missouri. According to Barry, they should be undefeated.
Oh my God, Auburn?
But yeah, I didn't say anything, man. I just kept my mouth shut. So I was like,
See that
yeah, sure, Dad.
your
Um,
dad's going typical Auburn fan right
yeah,
now. Like they
he
think
usually
they're
does.
Alabama. They think they're Alabama. They think they're. I mean, they do. They think that they're Alabama, at least on that level,
Yeah,
and they're not. Like Auburn fans, uh, no hate from me at all. Okay, you, but you're not. You're not Alabama. This is what you are. I've said it time and time again on this show, and just in general in public. You're a 7 to 8 win team.
not this year.
Not this year, but when you're you when you're typical, you're having a typical Auburn little tenure. You're a
Yeah,
7 to 8 win team for like 4 seasons, and then you're going to have that one magical 9 to 11 win season. If it's really special, 12, and that's just how it's going to go. I mean that's what it is. Alabama should be winning 11 games every year. It's clear drop off after Nick Saban, but you knew that was going to happen.
yeah,
I'm not surprised by that, but to lose to I mean Tennessee's not a bad team, so I mean that's not a bad loss. But to lose to Vanderbilt, even though they are officially in the top 25, that's not good. You're still Alabama, and that's still Vanderbilt. I don't care if they're a top 10 team.
ready to see what Vandy can do against Texas this weekend.
Now that would be something. If now if Vandy goes out and beats Texas, then I'll say, okay, maybe it's not as bad of a loss as I
Maybe
thought.
not.
Yeah. But Vanderbilt is officially a top 25 team. Who did they play and beat? Because they clearly won their game Saturday.
No, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, well, they clearly won, otherwise they wouldn't be in the top 25. So, I mean, congratulations to Vanderbilt. Arkansas
But,
4-3, not a bad place to be, just like my fantasy team. Ugh.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm not 4-3.
Well, I wish I wasn't, but it's what it is. Moves were made. I had a very busy day at work, but I took a good 5 to 10 minutes to put in 3 moves, pending moves. That is.
Yeah,
Uh,
there,
exactly.
there's going to be a lot of moves trying to be made with all the injuries that happened over the weekend. But
Yeah, I have Mike Evans. The only shot I
uh,
had Monday was Mike Evans, and he scored a touchdown pretty much right away. And then I checked later,
yeah,
and that was it. It was nothing after that. He would have scored again had he, not gotten hurt or dropped it or whatever happened. Saw the highlight when I got home. But yeah, that's how it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been 2 rough weeks for my fantasy team. So, but there's other sports to talk about, so we're going to do that. Okay, let's go back to football. Let's go back to pro football. Chiefs still unbeaten. Lions beat the Vikings. That's a big one. Russell Wilson went off. Steelers are now 5-2.
yeah.
Um,
Looks like that extra practice with Pickens paid off. So
yeah,
apparently
I saw.
Pickens let the cat out of the bag earlier in the week and told him that they're making a change at QB. It's supposed to be hush hush.
Well, he had a heck of a catch. He had the top play. I
He
did
had
see
two of
that.
them.
Okay, well, he had the number one play on SportsCenter last night, the one-handed catch on the sideline. I saw that after the Bronny LeBron coverage. Um, so heck of a play there. I was going to ask what happened there. I mean, is Justin Fields hurt, or did they just make a switch?
Just made a switch. Yeah, they really wouldn't say what the reasoning was, but I'm pretty sure he just coach just thought that he was going to have to just put him in just to shut the fans up. If it worked, it worked. If not, he can always go back to Fields. But he did say if he goes back to Fields, he's not. That's it. He's not going back to Wilson. So
So Wilson's the better quarterback.
yeah,
I mean, the guy's he he was a before Denver. He was a future Hall of Famer. He was
yeah,
a he won a Super Bowl. He won he might have been Super Bowl MVP. I can't remember. Should have won two. Should have won another
yeah.
Super
Should have won too.
Bowl. But still, numbers are great. I mean, career numbers great. I mean, Russell Wilson was a really good quarterback in Seattle up until the very end, and he was getting better in year two at Denver. Like he was getting better. It
Yeah,
was
they went on a run in December. I think they went undefeated in December and finally lost in January. So they went on like a mini run at the end of the season.
well, and he got seated over he got seated over a contract. They wanted to restructure his contract and he didn't want to, and then they just benched him and then cut him. I mean, that's what happened. It wasn't
Yeah.
that he just played poorly. I mean, if they're both healthy, Russell Wilson's the better option. And
Hmm.
The Steelers are a good team. I mean, it makes complete sense to start Russell Wilson over Justin Fields. And I thought if Justin Fields was going to work, it would have been in Pittsburgh. But if Russell Wilson this at this point in his career is going to work, it'll work
And
in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh even better, I think.
and you can say it has worked. I mean, hell, he won 4 games.
Who?
Fields.
Yeah, but yes, correct. But what I mean is, imagine what I think a healthy Russell Wilson will be even better. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I mean, just
So
look at the numbers between the two. I mean, this is
mm,
Russell Wilson's first game, I believe.
yeah,
And yeah, he lit up the stat sheet. He lit it up in fantasy. I know that.
he got started off a little slow, but man, he heated up pretty quick. So
Yeah, and like I said, Chiefs win. Lions beat the Vikings, so they take over that division right now. You're
yeah,
shaking your head on that. So
I was just a little surprised that they beat the Vikings with the Vikings coming off a bye week. I figured they were actually gonna get them. So with the
we
extra
thought the
prep and at home, I mean they're at home and had a bye week to prepare.
it's still the Vikings and Sam Darnold against a really good Lions team,
True.
which is still weird to say. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's still Sam Darnold and the Vikings against a really good Lions team.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by that at all.
Yeah. You
Uh,
want to? I was gonna say you want to talk about you're looking like a genius on the Miami game. I've had to pick up a tight end in fantasy, and I picked up Jonnu Smith. He was projected like 5 points. He got me 23. I want to say so. He worked out on the Dolphins game, but they didn't win. But he still scored me some pretty good points.
when
Um,
is Tua coming
I,
back? Is he back?
they're expecting him to play on Sunday, so I think he's officially back. Yeah,
Well, best wishes there. We wish him well, obviously, as far as his health goes. Um,
yeah,
I liked his. I did see his media, his and him answering questions from the media about it, and he handled it as well as he could. He basically said, "I mean, this is on me. I know the risk, and I love football, and I'm willing to lay it all out there for that." And hey, I believe he even said, "I'm willing to put my life on the line for that," or something along those lines. A lot of people kind of scoffed at that, but I mean, he's a football player. We all felt that way as far back as high school. It's like we know what we're doing when we go out there to do that. So I respect that. You know, he's a competitor. He's a warrior. He wants to get out there and play. I get it. Um, and what else? What else do you do? This is what you've been great at your whole life. To just say I'm done, that's not an easy thing to do for
no,
like imagine the thing your best your the absolute best at, the best thing, the thing you're most talented at. Anything. Just you sitting at home, I'm talking to you. And suddenly people are saying that you need to stop doing that for your health or whatever. You know how many times I've been told like I need to lay off running? I haven't listened at all. I haven't done that one bit. Now my life isn't on the line or anything like that, but I've had injuries before. I've had Achilles tendonitis and didn't tell my doctor I had a race the following weekend or things like that. So not the same, but at the same time it is. Just imagine somebody saying you need to stop doing that. You're you're not just gonna say, yeah, okay, you're right. I need to stop doing that. No. You're gonna do everything you can to get out there and do the thing that you love to do and that you're best at. It's what two is doing here. Yeah, if
Mhm.
something awful happens, yeah, we're gonna look back and say it was a bad decision, but hindsight's always 2020. So all I can do, he knows what he's doing. He's grown. He can make this choice. I just wish him the best of luck. Hope he stays healthy. And the Dolphins are a lot better with him in there. So hopefully he
Yeah.
can do that. Learn to slide though. Don't take hits. Like it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a concussion. I just hope Mike McDaniel is really taking time to, I don't know, instruct him on sliding and coaching him to slide. Just slide in those moments. If it's the Super
But
Bowl, okay. But no, slide in those moments.
yeah, we'll
All
see
right,
if
what
he
else?
takes that advice.
Yes, 100%. Best of luck to in the Dolphins. Okay, this is Diet Pepsi, by the way.
Here it is.
Yeah. What else happened in the football world this weekend? Since I
Had a
can't
couple
coach.
of oh, I was fixing to say we had a couple of injuries. Deshaun Watson went down with the Achilles injury. He's apparently done for the season. Fans were heard cheering as he went down or as he was down on the field. Um, and dude, that dude was crying. I mean, that's a tough look, man. But
Yeah, that's not a good look. To be doing that when your quarterback is uh yeah, like hurt, two like in tears over it.
yeah,
You think Deshaun Watson wanted to come out um and not play very well this last year or two? Of course not.
no, there's no
Uh,
way.
this is that like it's like you said, it's not a good look. Um, yeah, he did some pretty horrible stuff, and he's literally paying for it. Yeah, he's gone to court. He's been through the judicial system. He's probably going to continue to go through it at some point. But all he can do in the meantime is play football, do the thing that he's being paid to do, and to get hurt like that, uh, yeah, it sucks all the way around. Sucks all the way around. Uh, that I don't know what else to say other than that. It's a very bad look to see to hear that response to your quarterback going down and is going to be out for the year. So tough look. I did like Jameson's response or Jameis Winston's response to the media. I did see that clip. Did you see it?
I did not. No.
It was a very Jameis Winston way of responding to it. I'll just say that, and that I liked it. He was sticking up for his teammate and doing it in a way Jameis Winston talks to the media, and I very much enjoyed it. Like not sarcasm or anything like that. I
I'll
like
have to
Jameis
look at it after this.
I like Jameis Winston interviews because he's Jameis Winston. He's definitely quirky,
Yeah.
um, and if this was his way of respond, but it came from the heart. You could tell, and I just liked it. It was pure. I'll put it that way. It was not a media coach stance or anything like that. He told you what he thought in a Jameis Winston way, and I liked it. Yeah, but yeah, that was tough to see here, etc. And what else are we missing, Brad?
I believe Jaden Daniels went down on Sunday. Marcus Mariota got to tear it up in his place. I was surprised to see that name tick across the bottom of the screen on Sunday. Um, did you watch any of the game last night or games? Did you watch the Bucks?
I did not. I was planning to come home and watch football. I was gonna get home in time, or I was gonna get home about 8:30 last night, and I was like, I'm gonna go home and watch football and just relax, just bring my stuff out of the car, put it in, not really unpack. And when we got to Casey's on Bill Foster, about 5 to 7 minutes from my place, Dexter sat up in the seat and diarrheaed all over the car. So fortunately, I
That's
had towels. It got on my arm and everything.
oh man,
Yeah.
poor guy.
Yeah, I was like seething mad, but I knew he couldn't help it. So I
Yeah,
was trying to like just think rationally. And but it really wasn't that bad because I put towels over the seat or on the seat and over it just to keep his hair off. And the towels took 98% of the poo. So I didn't
thank
have
God.
to wipe into the crevices of the seat or anything like that. All I had to do was wipe like the console. I mean, I wiped the seat too, but nothing came off of it. So I mean, all I had to do was take care of the console, and I went and got vacuumed my car and just flashlighted it and extra cleaned it and gave him a bath too. So really, some good came out of it. My car ended up getting cleaned and my dog got a new bath. So that's my silver lining way of looking at it. So my long-winded way of saying no, I didn't watch
No, yeah.
any of the football last night.
Yeah. Yeah. So you already touched on Evans going down, but it was a really tough look watching Godwin get hurt with 47 seconds left in the game. I mean, the Bucks are completely out of it. Yeah, they score, get an onside kick, and they're going for it again, but they still got to score, get another onside kick, and score again. And they're in the final minute. And yeah, dude, that he's definitely out for the season, I would imagine. Like they didn't even show the replay. I do remember like whenever he was trying to get up from his tackle, thinking, "Man, his foot's pointing a funny way," and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's injured." So I was like, "Oh crap!" But yeah, that was a very tough look, especially when you're already out of it, but you're just going for it. 43 seconds left. Yeah, tough way to go out.
Yeah, it is. That's another one of those hindsight 2020 though,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you're still in it. You're trying to fight, but I mean, you make a good point, but I don't know what you do there. I don't know what you can come back and say. Should have threw in the towel.
no, I mean, that's what you're there for, man. You're there to compete. Um, if there's a chance, go for it. But
I did see Mike Evans is out until the bye week, is what it sounds like. Uh, Lamar Jackson, though, had quite the game. Threw 5 touchdown passes. The Ravens have now
yeah,
won
he did.
5 straight after a 0-2 start. Very much looking like Lamar's going for MVP number 3. I saw the acronym MV3 or being thrown out there. I assume for this being his third MVP, it is going to be his third, right?
Yeah,
So that's very possible. But I would like to see the Ravens take that next step rather than like in the playoffs, rather than Lamar win another MVP and then they blow it in the playoffs,
yeah,
the divisional round or whatever it is.
because
Um,
they legitimately looked like the best team in football last season, especially heading into the postseason. And man, yeah,
well, they look
yeah,
really good right now with Derrick Henry running the ball, another
it's
100 plus
unfair.
yard day,
Yeah,
uh, leading the league in rushing right now. Derrick Henry at 30 years old. So shout out to one of the all time greats. Yes, Derrick Henry is that.
yeah,
So yeah, Lamar 5 touchdown passes, another big day from Derrick Henry. Yeah, Ravens are going to be a tough out when it comes to that. But the Chiefs keep being the Chiefs and finding ways to win. The Chiefs are a defensive team now with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Like it's a winning formula, and that's going to be fun to see again. It's probably going to be like it was in week one or that Thursday night opener. Start the NFL season 7 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a fight, and I'm all here for it. Okay. Before we get out of here, we got the World Series starting Thursday. We got the two best teams going at it. I I'm always rooting for an underdog, but if it were the Mets Yankees, the Yankees would have been heavily favored. If it were Cleveland and the Dodgers, Dodgers would have been probably heavily favored, or at least favored. We legitimately have the two best teams playing each other in the World Series,
Yeah.
and I'm very much looking forward to it. I've gotten more into baseball recently. I don't might some of it might be the rule changes to where it speeds up the game more. I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of fallen back in love a little bit with baseball in the last couple of years, but I'm looking forward to this one. Yankees Dodgers. I, I don't know what the odds are going to be in Vegas, but who are you? Let's go ahead and do picks for that. Who you got winning it, and in how many games?
Man, I just can never I don't know, find it in my heart to ever pull for the Yankees. So gonna have to go with the Dodgers. And I will say 6 games.
Okay, six, really. All right.
I wanted to
I
say
feel like
5.
this could be a 7 game series, and I think it will be. I'm really it's kind of a toss up to me. I'm going to go the Yankees just because I think they have too much firepower with Judge Soto and company. Uh, really good pitching to match the Dodgers. I mean, it really could go either way. I almost think it's like 55-45 as far as who I'm siding with, but I'm going to go with the Yankees on that. I'll say Yankees win it in 7 games, but if the Dodgers do that in seven, I wouldn't be surprised either. So
Yeah.
that's our World Series picks, y'all. And who do the Razorbacks play Saturday?
Mississippi State.
Okay, so I assume we both think the Hogs will bounce back and get a win there.
Yes. Even though it's on the road, we've played good on the road this year. I think we can get it done.
All right, score prediction real quick. Real quick.
Uh 35-28 odds.
Okay. I'm going to go I'm going to go 28-17 Razorbacks. All right, so we both got the Hogs this Saturday. We're out of time. We'll see y'all next week. I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.